Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast. Let's talk about the NFC North.
Welcome back to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ryan. On today's episode, we are going to predict the NFC North. And as you can tell in the background, I am a Lions backer. That's my dad's favorite team. That's my dad's favorite team. And I'm hoping for good things this year. So I'm really excited to talk about the NFC North. Now, if you want an in-depth breakdown of every single team in the NFC North, I have an NFC North preview in the description below for our podcast. I was joined by a Vikings fan, a Packer fan, and a Bears fan. So we had all the fan bases covered, and we had a really good and fun discussion about the NFC North, green flags, red flags, predictions, and more. Let's get into, though, predicting the NFC North standings going into the NFL season 2003. So number one, I'm going to have the Detroit Lions finishing on top. And I know the hype is real, and this is not a comfortable place for the Detroit Lions or their fans. I'm a big Lions fan. I hope this is right. This is my reasoning. They still have a top 5 offensive line. They're still going to have a really good offense. Now, their defense, they finished 29th last year. But what did they go and do in free agency? They brought in veteran players like Sauce Gardner. Man, that would not be Gardner Johnson is who I was thinking. Gardner Johnson. They got Cam Sutton, and they brought in Mosley as well. So they got and others, by the way, but they try to fix it more so for free agency, and the offense is going to be good. And if you're going to have a good offense, that's what you want for the regular season. Offense helps you win regular season. Defense helps win championships. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot. But so they're going to have still a really good offense. They retained their offensive coordinator, who was in rumors about being a head coach candidate, but he took his name out of the list. And I think that's really good for the Detroit Lions. I wasn't a fan of their first round, but I am a fan of the talent that they got. And I will not ever admit that they should have picked who they picked in the first round, but it doesn't mean that they aren't going to be good or great NFL players. It's just that the value is just not there. With that being said, I'm excited to see what they do with those players. They also got the best safety in the draft, and Laporta. I'm excited about that. So I have the Lions finishing first in this division, and I'm actually going to go 10-7 to finish first. Second in this division, I have finishing the Minnesota Vikings. I have them sitting at 8-9. So last year they won 11 games by one possession or less. So just think about this. If they would have been like 500 or even a little better than 500, they would have barely got to 9 games, right? If they went 7-4, I think they would have been 9-8. So I'm expecting a little bit of that. I think their defense is going to be a little worse, although I love the Brian Flores hiring. As a Dolphin fan. I know he gets the most out of his talent, but it is going to be a young secondary. I think that defense is just going to take a little bit while to get their legs underneath them. And when they do, they're going to be good, but I don't think that'll happen until later in the year. I'm not a big fan of the running back that they kept over Cook. I think it's Madison. No. Yeah. Or something like that. Why can't I think of his name? You know who I'm talking about. It's like 1:00 in the morning. So you know who I'm talking about, but I'm not a big fan of him as being a workload. I like him as sort of like a change of pace / spell back, but I'm not a big fan of him getting a whole workload. Now we haven't seen it, but we'll see. I don't know. If you're going to be weak at one position, though, running back position is the position to be weak at. I like their first round wide receiver that they drafted in Addison, and obviously they got Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins is still there. I just wonder if it will be a blessing in disguise if the Vikings miss the playoffs this year, and they'll move on from Kirk Cousins for you Vikings fans. Although I think he's kind of like both underrated and overrated. Kirk Cousins, weird relationship with his fans. Number 3, I have finishing third in this division. I have the Green Bay Packers. I have them finishing 7-10 in this division. So I know a lot of people think their defense is going to be better than it was last year. That's not what history has shown us. Joe Barry's defense has gotten worse. He inherited the 13th ranked defense. They ranked 13th the year when he was hired, so he didn't know improvement. And then last year they were 17th ranked defense, so they fell 4 spots. They had 8, I think, first round picks on their defense last year. It wasn't any better. So I don't know what adding another guy does for the Packers. I think one thing too is that even though there was a lot of drama, that relationship was cancerous for the Green Bay Packers between him and Rodgers. They will miss his presence on the football field, him knowing how to call plays, knowing when to audible, knowing when to switch from run to pass and vice versa, vis-a-vis, whatever. I think that they're going to miss that from Rodgers, that veteran savviness. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something Jordan Love will have to learn how to do that. And they are the youngest team in the NFL, by the way. So with that being said, I just think they're going to be 7-10. And also, just so you know, I'm not saying this is just a fact. I'm not saying he's bad or not, but Matt LaFleur, the last time he had control of an offense in Tennessee, his offense ranked number 27th. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that means he's bad or good. I'm just saying that's a fact. So just, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't trust Joe Barry. I just don't. So I have them at 7-10. That's where I have them finishing for the Green Bay Packers. And then finally at 6-11, winning 3 more games than they did last year, I do have the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to improve. I think Fields is going to look better. We got to kind of see it because like Fields, his passing game, his passing attack wasn't the greatest last year, right? We can all agree on that. He had the 32nd. He was 30.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram, and Twitter, or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.
I think he's going to do better this year. He actually has a good amount of weapons now. And I think he's going to be better than he was last year. I think the defense will be a little bit better, but I don't think they're going to be dramatically better. 6-11, which is 2 times the amount of wins that they had last year. So I think if you're a Bears fan, that's something that you can get with. Maybe. I don't know. So again, I have the Lions winning the division, Vikings 2nd, Packers 3rd, Bears 4th. Let me know in the comments down below how you think the division is going to wind up. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? And why? Thanks so much for listening. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and we will talk to you guys real soon.